Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to another science video. And this video is going to be to do with things that float and things that sink. Now Reese has set me a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, and that challenge is for my mum to explain me an experiment, or to experiment with explaining to me why the big boats that are so heavy, like, don't sink. I get what's it called? Wood floats. But when there's so much wood, it's getting even heavier. And when there's even people on it, and people can't float, it's getting even heavier. Why does it still not sink? That's a question.
That's a very good question. Okay. Do you want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gave me a clue about this. You said it was going to be about something called density. Would you explain that to me?
So there's two things I'm going to explain. One's density and one's about the balance of forces. So the first thing we're going to demonstrate is density.
Yep.
So density is basically the mass or weight in a given area. Okay? The more dense something is, the more mass or weight it's got in the same area. The less dense something is, the less weight it's got in the same area.
Okay.
So water has a density. And if you put something on it that is more dense than the water, what do you think it's going to do? It's more dense than the water. It's got more mass, more weight in the same space. Do you think it's going to sink or float?
Sink, probably.
Sink, that's correct. And if something's got less density than the water, it's going to float. So we'll demonstrate this with an egg. Do you think that's going to sink or float?
I think it's got higher density, so it's going to sink.
Let's see. Let's see if you're right.
Yeah.
There we go. It's sank, so you were right. It's got a higher density than the water. So what do we need to do to make that float?
I think we need to I don't know.
Do you want me to give you a clue?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we either need to make the egg less dense, so it's less dense than the water, or we need to make the water more dense than the egg.
Yeah.
So if you dissolve salt in water, it makes the water more dense. Because you are putting mass or weight into the water. So essentially you're making the water heavier, aren't you? It's going to take quite a lot, I think, because eggs are pretty dense. So we need to pour the salt in and stir it around with this. And I mean a lot of salt. So go on, pour it in. Tell you what, you pour it in and I'll stir.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can get the egg to float. We need to make the water more dense than the egg. No, just pour it in. Pour it in. Lots of it. Chuck it in, that's it. Oh, it's alright, don't worry. You need more than that. Keep going. Think how heavy an egg is. So how much salt you need to get in. Let's have a go. Let's stir it a bit.
Hopefully you have enough salt.
Now.
Oh, it's going up.
No, it's just going up because I'm stirring it.
So guys, we took a bit of time out. Sorry about that. But we kept putting salt in and stirring, and eventually, hoping this will happen, and eventually it did. Look, and just we started recording just to let you guys know that it is possible.
Yeah, we made the egg float by making the water more dense than the egg.
Yep.
Okay, so that's demonstrated that.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that away. Now then, just want to move on to the second demonstration, which is all about balancing forces. So everything around us, everything solid around us, exerts a force downwards. We do, the table does, this egg does. For example, if you hold this egg, the weight of it is the force being exerted down. Right? Just like this brick is, if you hold that, it's exerting a force down on your hands, isn't it?
And it's very heavy.
Yeah, so that's a greater force. The brick exerts a greater force downwards than the egg, doesn't it? Okay. And water exerts a force upwards. Okay?
Good.
That makes sense? So, if you can imagine water. So here's our water. I'll just show you what I'm drawing here. Here's our water.
Yeah.
If you can imagine each section of that water is exerting a force of 1. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah? Not yet. So there we go. It's all exerting a force of 1. And we have a little tray here. And you can imagine that is exerting a force of 3. You know how I said everything exerts a force downwards?
Yeah.
Well, this exerts a force of 3. You're going to write 3 on it.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, write it a bit bigger so you guys can see.
Okay. So that sits on the water.
Yeah. Imagine.
And pushes down 3. So you've got 3 pushing down, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 pushing up. So you've got more force pushing up than you have pushing down.
So does that make it go even higher?
No, it just makes it float.
Okay.
Okay?
So imagine that is the boat.
So that is the boat. And it's going to float. And put it in the water and show it floating. Okay. So that is floating nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah? However, if we take the same boat and we squash it up, so you've got the same force, because the force downwards does not change. However, it will be over a smaller area. Squash this. Whoa. So the squash boat is over a smaller area. So it's still 3 down, however there's only 2 up. Okay, so Reese is going to show us how the same item exerting the same force downwards but over a smaller area will now sink.
Okay.
There we go. So if the force upwards from the water compared to the force downwards from the object is even, or the force upwards is greater, then the item will float. If it's not, then it will sink. Do you now understand why boats float?
I think. Yeah.
Because the weight is spread out over a very large area, isn't it?
Say a human was about 1, that would be able to get in that boat.
And that is why, can you imagine when you go in a swimming pool, if you stand
if you lie
very
down,
tall, you sink, don't you? But if you lie down and you spread your weight out, you float.
Yeah, because you're getting more of those 1 points.
Yeah.
And up.
Yeah. Okay.
So now I understand why boats do float.